here, kind of going back and forth. But yeah, start off talking about them fathers.
Yeah, man. It was that day, the other day. I was like,
Right.
well, shoot. I don't know. It's one of those type things. It's I guess like the older you get or what have you, just it feels like Sunday. One of the things, my biggest thing about Father's Day is though,
What's that?
they move it so far away from things that dad like. So football season ends in February.
Right.
Father's Day is in June. Then yeah,
Basketball season kind of wraps up before Father's Day.
right, because I remember when Jordan's last game was on Father's Day. And
Yeah.
he had that game winner against Byron Russell,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
the infamous push off. That was
Yeah.
that was on Father's Day. So it's like, well shit. It's like, so if you don't like baseball or NASCAR, then you SOL on Father's Day.
Right.
I don't
But I
know.
mean,
My
and then,
my biggest suggestion is they should make the strip club half off on Father's Day.
but I mean, listen. I mean, if you go into a strip club, you're gonna go see stuff that's half off anyway. So
Right. So I should be able
um,
to pay half off.
I
Full
guess.
full price out
Well,
there.
like I said, but you know what? I got a homeboy. He did a whole list of things that fathers do not want, and the list consisted of it was just so broad, but it made sense. And he gave a reason behind everything. So he was like, we don't. He said we don't want ties, we don't want cologne. His thing is sex is not a gift, that's a given. So he kind of went. It was a broad list, and I'm just giggling like, okay, okay. But I mean, at the end of the day, most people would share. I mean, you're a guy, so most people would share that guys are pretty simple. But when it comes to that day, I think it's the energy. I think why is it that Mother's Day gets so much energy, but Father's Day don't? But I see coming from, and I know I'm a minority when it comes to what I came from. Having a fantastic mother and a fantastic father. So oddly enough, growing up, we would give my mom things, and then we would go Father's Day a month later and give thanks to my dad. And my dad used to say when we were younger, "Oh no, don't give me anything, just be good kids." So one day that joker saw, like, on Mother's Day, everything my mother has said she wanted. And my mother is not one of those traditional moms that say, "Oh, I want to go to brunch, this and that." My mother would go you take her out to eat. She's gonna say, "Ooh, this not seasoned right. Ooh, I could have cooked this." So she's not a let's go out to eat kind of person. Her list usually kind of consisted of like a tool. Like one year we bought her a circular saw. My mother's a Renaissance woman.
A
So
circular saw.
we bought her a circular saw because
So your
she,
mama wanted a bandsaw for Mother's Day?
well, it wasn't a man saw. She wanted
No,
a circular.
I said a bandsaw.
Oh yeah, yeah, I have to say the man saw. But yeah, she did. She wanted a circular saw. And then one year she wanted like a toolbox. So, but my mother's a Renaissance woman. So if you look at her, you wouldn't think that this is just the kind of woman who could build stuff and fix stuff. My mother was the one that put stuff together when we were kids. And I learned from her. And we didn't have any brothers. And my poor daddy, God rest his soul, he was a hard worker. I've never seen anyone who works as hard as he, but that Joker couldn't fix nothing. He knew how to put a battery in the car, but he put a battery in my car one time, but he didn't know that I already knew. But I just let him go ahead and be my daddy, let him do it. But no,
Damn right.
that Joker couldn't fix a thing. My mother's the Renaissance woman. So yeah, we bought her a circular saw. And then she goes, and then you all buy me whatever you want. So after we got her what she wanted, I think I bought her like another purse. And my sister bought perfume. So my father was like, for real? And he saw all the things we were giving my mom. So he called a family meeting that next week. And we were like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I mean, we don't call family meetings. My daddy said, this is my size, this is my shirt size, this is my shoe size. Since you all want to be all grown and sexy, here you go. So from that day forth, we made sure that he was just kind of spoiled. Because he growing up, it was be good kids. So there was no such thing as, oh, you have to do X, Y, and Z. But then once he realized that your daughters do work, and we got a couple coins, so why not spend that on you? You're our dad and you're our father. So yeah, so up until the day he transitioned, his girls made sure he had whatever it was he wanted, as much Sam Club, it's not Sam Club, Sam Cook, whatever, or Johnny Taylor, whatever, Bobby Womack. We made sure he had whatever it is that he wanted. So, but yeah, but Father's Day, I mean, I was happy to hop on social media and I didn't see a lot of male bashing because yeah, I'm that person. I don't care if you put it on your page. You have a right to put it on your page, but like the whole male bashing, because you don't see that. And that's what someone has yet to show. Even if you have some questionable mothers, you're not looking at a bunch of men hopping on social media saying, my baby mama a deadbeat. She don't let me see my child. You
That was a
know,
whole the dude made a whole song out of it. That's the
I,
bad part.
but it's correct, but you don't see it. So, and then you don't see those fathers. Like again, I told someone, and I made a post about it. I took a major poll surrounding, my life and who I've allowed in my circle, who I consider my people, God wise, my homies, the play brothers, whatever. And like I was telling someone, I said, there's no one that I'm cool with or that's in my world, cousin, uncle, whatever, that was an absentee father. So all I
We
know,
were having that conversation
yeah.
recently.
So all I know are solid fathers. Now I didn't say they all were solid husbands,
Well,
but
look,
that ain't what.
God damn it, nobody's perfect.
But that's not what I'm judging. But they were there for their children, even if you can't, even exes. Guys that I dated, guys who made their way over to being quote unquote exclusive, whatever. Good fathers. So no, it's too many fantastic fathers out here to be confused with baby daddies. Baby daddies, those the ones who don't do X, Y, and Z. See their child once a month, run by whatever. I'm talking about fathers, people who have learned how to comb hair, do a little puff for their daughters,
That was
who have
one of the things
gone the
that
extra mile.
I was blessed not to have a daughter because I mean coming to that would have been ooh that baby would have been looking rough from the forehead up.
But you know what? I knew, especially when I was still with Boys and Girls Club, I had a lot of single fathers that would, and of course, I didn't ask for a red sim, and nor would I accept anything because I appreciated their effort. They would just come to me saying, "Listen, I have no idea what to do with my daughter's hair." So I would just say, "Do me a favor, go to the beauty supply store, buy this, this, and that." And sometimes they would say, Can we just give you the money?" I said, "I got you." So for a minute, yeah, my office, I used to do little girls' hair, especially for my single dads. I would do little girls' hair, get their little bonnets or their little scarves, tie them up, because I saw the effort of these fathers. So no, you can't paint no negative picture, especially about my brothers. You can't paint no negative picture to me about our men. That's why I will act a donkey. Don't you get up there and say you the mother or the father. Not no man.
No,
I will
no.
go
But and you
straight.
know what? One thing I'm noticing too, is that the sisters are really checking the other sisters about that. I saw more sisters online checking other women like, come Father's Day, don't get up here talking about Happy Father's Day to you. You ain't no father, you ain't no man. You may be doing the job or two, but you are still the mother.
But here's the thing, whether or not you're doing the job or two, who is to say that you're doing a job or two? You're being a parent. Like I look at the fact that the good Lord has blessed me. I have 4 godchildren. All 4, unfortunately, all 4 of my godchildren are fatherless. I'm not their father. I'm their godmother. And I'm not going to take on the role of, I can't teach my godsons how to be men, but what I can do is set a tone, give them structure, and I can also take the initiative to get them around some positive men until maybe life changes, maybe I end up getting married, their mom gets married, something. But no, no, these are, but I've noticed too, like my oldest, he's 28. He's a fantastic father, but his father was not in his life. So the beauty about it was giving him structure, praying over him, getting him around. I mean, his favorite, if you ever ask him, his favorite male role model that he had in his life, aside from big cousins, was my daddy. Grandpa was the most solid man that he saw. So you see him now at 28 years old. He's doing the thing. He's a fantastic father, but he's a fantastic father because he knows what it felt like to not have. So, but and that's all I can hope too for Jaden and Carter when they get older. But hopefully, no time. Hopefully they wait to their 30s and 40s to go ahead and do whatever. But if it happens younger, fine. But that's the goal, is to say, listen, you can't say, oh, I didn't have. You give your children what you didn't have. My father's father wasn't in his life, but he was raised by his uncle. So he had a role model, but because he knew what it was like to have someone absentee, he was never absentee. So, I mean, like I said, too many brothers are out here doing it. And the beauty about what I love about a lot of men, you all not looking for brownie points. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You're not looking for the brownie points. You're not on social media saying, I'm out here, I'm a single dad, I'm doing this. Why me? No, you get up every day and you make stuff happen. And whatever you couldn't knock out on Tuesday, that's why there's a Wednesday. So no.
Yeah. It's just one of those things, though. I really wish that there was more attention on Father's Day like there is Mother's Day. Mother's Day, they shutting shit down. You know what I'm saying? Father's Day, it's like, okay, well, happy Father's Day. All right, then.
And to be honest, if people with me having a background in youth development and social services, if people knew what I knew surrounding why there are so many laws of getting kids tested and legitimization and things of that nature, you wouldn't be going so hard for these mothers. But I'm gonna hold that. That's a different topic. Because again, I'm not gonna come up here and see. I can't be that person. I can't, celebrate my brothers and bash my sisters. But I will say, if you knew what I knew, it wouldn't be all these brunch spots popping off. So let's just be real.
Like I said, hey, look, for me, just look, have a big thing going on at the Script Club that day. Happy Father's Day. By the way, here's Peaches. But that red box over in the corner says, yo, we have actually been live for about 12 and a half minutes, but I wasn't gonna say
13.
That. Yeah. 13 minutes. It's been flowing. But yes, y'all are here with your favorite couple from the Planet Period, the two-time ATL's hottest DJ, the God DJ Agony, also known as Dr. Dope. Well, my motto is simple: on the building. And we got that young lady next to me, who's the other half of the Planet Period. And she'll tell you who she is if you have been living under a rock or in a closet for the past month and so.
Well, you all see that in the signature, Miss Parker. That's what they call me. Glad to be on here on a Tuesday. The beauty about the Planet Period is you never know when we're gonna pop up. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You just never know. Hey, we're here.
Yeah, and Miss Parker got fans in the chat though.
I got fans.
You got fans in the chat.
What are you doing on here? That's oh my goodness. That's one of my students who has found me on here. Hi, Bryson. I miss you too, baby. Get off a line. Listen, that's the thing. That's why you have to be that's why you definitely have to be conscious.
And I'm sitting up there and I'm staring at that name like, God, I know that name.
Yeah,
it seems familiar.
Hey, sweetie.
But without a picture, I'm sitting up there like, I don't know who that is, but God, that name sounds familiar. All right, well,
yeah,
moving right along.
Yeah.
First Take Night Edition. I got my boy DJ Four Stripe in the building. What up, Sarge?
What's going on, sir?
DD, what up, Shouty? Not get offline. Yes.
That's one of my.
That's an age restriction on here.
That's one of my babies. He was coming on to say hi. Listen, Yeah, I'm more likely he's still probably online, but that's okay. Good,
Yeah.
but that's the beauty about sometimes when we're two educators. So when your educators kind of hop on, that makes them happy to kind of see, what else we have going on. But also, but keep in mind, which is why I'm also big on you got to keep certain things above board because you just never know. So, but yeah, now you go ahead and go to bed, Bryson.
Right, right, right.
But
I'm just I
he's
just
a
hope Bryson
sweetie.
wasn't here for dope after dark. He probably got his little world turned out that night.
Well, okay, okay. Well, thank you for just introducing that to him. But no, he's a sweetie. He's a
I think
sweet baby.
if I think hard enough, I think I remember who that is too. But yeah,
Yeah, he's a
nah,
sweetie.
not here, boy. Matter of fact, you got your homework, dude. I know I done gave y'all some homework that I still ain't never seen back. I don't care
Yeah,
if it is 2 schools ago.
but but you know what? When I tell you he's one of the smartest young men, I mean, I had the pleasure of teaching. Now not always. He don't always get that work done on time. Well, first semester he didn't. Second semester he killed.
Yeah,
And
he too busy
but
on
he's so
YouTube.
bright. He's so bright. Like I said, sky is the limit. No, actually, no, there's no limitations with Bryson. Bryson's
Yeah.
gonna do big things, big things. So, but yeah, well, no, well, go ahead. Well, so we talking about Father's Day, enjoying fathers, and you're absolutely right. We want more energy, around dads and
Yeah.
promoting all that good stuff.
I
So
mean, I don't see all like the commercials, the sales, like literally for the month of May. The whole month is centered around Mother's Day,
mothers,
and then the second half Memorial Day. June
yeah.
ain't like that though.
But see, June, you have to also look at too. June, like okay, in the month of May, you got Memorial Day, but you have Mother's Day. Mother's Day is the biggest thing. You don't really highlight a bunch of graduations because you do have the majority of the nation where graduations take place maybe in June. More of your southern states kind of get out of school in May, that are
Give
part
or
of
take.
May, but they consider like graduation time to be the month of June. But once the month of June is ushered in, now we have Juneteenth that we're celebrating. We celebrated yesterday. You have Black Music Month. You also have Father's Day, but now, of course, which my thing is, I love people, so hey, celebrate who you are. You got Pride Month, so you have a lot of stuff that is. You have a lot of things that now fathers have to almost share, which is like
Almost. It's like we're like fifth place at this point.
right. But like I said, it's one of those things where, you know, I do believe that we should make more of an effort. And who knows, maybe that's something that, the dope show can kick off where, we're more intentional about the month of June. Because I know one thing I do the moment Mother's Day is over, I post my famous picture with Al Bundy with the sign next to it that says "No, ma'am." His she
I
woman,
remember No Mail. Yes,
his she
yes,
woman
that was
hate club.
classy.
No, ma'am. I
No
post that.
Mail.
I post that like, okay, now you just had your day. We didn't brunch, we didn't line dance, we didn't kick it. So now it's time for us to get ready to celebrate these brothers, these men, these the men who are in the communities just doing things. But what's so wonderful is, like I said, men do things behind the scene. Every now and then you'll find that person who wants that, you know, outward recognition. But a lot of times, no, you all just handle them business because it's business that needs to be handled. So, but yeah, we do need to be more intentional about celebrating fathers. We do.
Mm, that's what it is, man. But yeah. So then we had Juneteenth yesterday, and I called it. I called it.
What you call?
So I said what was gonna happen. I said that Juneteenth was gonna it wasn't gonna take long for it to turn into a hood thing. And it didn't damn take long at all. So let's tell you what I did yesterday. So Yesterday afternoon, I saw where there's a pizza spot, black owned and operated right here in Conyers, downtown Conyers. I said, hey, I'm gonna stop through because black owned business normally not open on Juneteenth, but well, normally not open on Mondays, but they open on Juneteenth.
Yeah.
And I went up in there, and it was just like any other black event. Like I got people shaking on the bar, drinks is flowing, niggas is swag surfing all over the place. And I said, good enough. I understand that. And yeah, there's a video actually of the whole bar swag surfing. Everybody knows swag surfing. And then there's just me sitting there. And I look like I don't belong because I just had that feeling like this is what it is. I knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I left. But the wings were good though. The wings was hitting.
But you know what? Unfortunately, this is one thing I learned from my childhood pastor growing up, who actually I grew up as a youngster to teenager to adult woman under his leadership. And he would always tell us people are just simply people. You know, there are just certain things where unfortunately, just some people they're just gonna find a reason to party. And that is just what they're doing. But there were so many people that took this day and made it a service day. There were so many people that were, trying to educate others on what Juneteenth really is, because you have so many people who don't realize even to this day, although we have officially begun to celebrate it as a national holiday within the last couple of years, but you have a lot of people who didn't realize that when that Emancipation Proclamation went forth, there were still certain states that were like, So you have to kind of know your history. So there were so many people who were educating people about the purpose of this day. It's still not a day that is still widely accepted. Unfortunately, there were mass shootings in several different places. My home city was one. So unfortunately, things are just going to transpire. Things are just going to transpire. But
In other words, niggas gonna nig.
well, I won't go that far.
I will.
Well, yeah, yeah, but like I said, I won't go that far just because people are going to do that. People are just going to be who they. I mean, it's the same way I will look at when being in the cigar industry, and how most folks don't understand about the cigar industry. It is supposed to be like a level of prestige. Cigars and down, because it's so many things that originally were taking place at the cigar lounge. Like business deals were cut at the cigar lounge. So this is not one of those things. This is not a black and mild. So it's supposed to be like an upper echelon type of thing. Well, unfortunately, if you have live music at a cigar lounge, most people will sit down and chill, but you still have that same population is going to get on top of something and shake something as if they have lost their minds. And the reality of it is, in their mind, they're having fun. And guess what? They might be, but they're just no superhumans. People are just simply who they are. And unfortunately, whether or not, but then don't forget about the whole woke, the whole woke population. Oh, they just gave us something. If this holiday, it's like, what the problem with the woke generation is, they don't stop and go to sleep. See, you can't be woke 24/7. Stop, take you a nap. Because even if you don't enjoy this day, hush your face. Some people might say, guess what? This is being recognized. Oh, they just gave us this. What about reparations? What, you didn't budget that $3.25 an hour job that you had back in the day. Now all of a sudden you want a whole mule and some land. Boy, hush the fuss. Just stop. Some people they just never happy.
Oh no, but the thing is, you'll never satisfy.
No,
you'll never satisfy everybody, and that goes with Black America. We can't all be satisfied at one time.
I mean, that goes with Americans, period, whether or not you're black,
Well, I
Caucasian,
mean,
Hispanic,
I don't even think about what the rest of them doing. I'm worried about us.
I mean, true.
The rest of them, their satisfaction, they'll get whatever they get. They, I don't know, cheese. I heard they like cheese.
Don't be disrespectful because you never know who's on the dope show. And I like cheese too.
Oh,
So
I freaking love
whatever.
cheese. I actually saw that on the Boondocks right once.
Yeah.
He,
He was like, would you like some cheese?
he said, "I'd love some cheese.
He was like, you want some cheese? I
I
love some.
love some."
Yeah,
Mhm.
but like I said, unfortunately, the only thing that we can do to get better is to keep getting better individually, and that's going to bleed over to. So if I become 100% whole, and in my wholeness I attract someone else, and they become 100% whole, and then they attract someone else, and that begins to bleed over. Before you know it, we have a bunch of whole people who are truly celebrating things. I'm not going to say the right way because there's no right or wrong way to a celebration.
Well,
You,
that
you
was the
know,
thing. Juneteenth didn't come with any liner notes. Like, I was approached by somebody who was like, "Well, now that we got Juneteenth as a holiday, how do we celebrate it?" Hell if I know.
I
It's,
mean,
like they would normally have festivals, parades. But for the people who, what I'm saying, don't go to the festivals and the parades, what do you do at your house to celebrate Juneteenth?
you
No,
can bring.
no, nobody has a clue.
My thing is this: if there are children in the house, educate them. So this is not just a day to sit here and get on, your parents' nerves. Educate them. That's where it starts. That's where it starts. Um, depending on the age of the children, if they might be maybe on their way to college, maybe look at some different schools that might fully embrace who they are, whether it's an HBCU, whatever. So there's so many ways that you can do things within your household. It doesn't have to always be, this big grand gesture or this grand, grandstand. It could just very well be, hey, I'm educating my family on what happened June 19th. What is Juneteenth? Because even something as simple as there's still certain, I'll say, there's still certain entities that don't recognize it. I mean, you might get an email, highlighting those who have served this country and unfortunately paid the ultimate sacrifice and lost their lives in battle. So you might get all these different emails just saying, hey, Memorial Day is not a barbecue. This is not a day to go fire up the grill. But how many people have taken that time? How many people fire up the grill Sunday, Monday, preparing themselves for Memorial Day? But what about the families that got those two NCOs, or maybe, or depending on the rank, possibly got two officers at your door, ringing your doorbell, and as soon as you open the door, you pass out because you already know they're not there for tea and crumpets.
Right. They
So
got
what about?
that
So what
floating
about?
flag.
Yeah, exactly. So what about those families that got that phone call, that got that visit, and you sitting up here want to know who cooking? So no matter what day that we sometimes have, you still have some people, they're just going to do what they choose to do. I know the true meaning behind Memorial Day, which is why that particular day, I always make sure that if there's someone that I know personally and I know that their family got that knock on the door, I try my best to just say, hey, thinking of you on this day. That's forever. That's life changing. That's life changing. I'm not
True.
on social media saying where the turkey ribs at. I'm not doing any of that because I understand the meaning behind it. And you even try to educate people on, okay, now don't sit up there and don't shout out your boyfriend who was in the Marine Corps, did 6 months, and he's still here. Nah, that's not memorial. That's not for him.
He get half of a piece of Veterans Day.
I have a piece of veterans. So
Right.
now, of course, when it comes to Veterans Day, heck, there's no better way to honor Veterans Day sometimes than to go to the VA. Go to the VA, pass out different little gifts, whatever. Because there's so many people who have
Mhm.
served this country who have come back, and they're just never going to be the same. You go into the armed services perfect. You come out and you got anxiety. Now you might be claustrophobic. Now you might have different ailments that just kind of come up.
And
So
then then there's ones missing a limb.
exactly. So I take those days where we honor our servicemen, and I mean men in terms of men and women, but our servicemen and our servicewomen who have fought for a country sometimes that may not fight for them. You take the
Mm.
time to recognize it. It's not about who all over there. No, it's not
Man, but
about
but
that.
you but you want that is a very vital question before you go over there, man. Who over there? Who making potato salad?
That's very much a vital question,
These
but
are
that's
vital questions.
but before you say who over there, make sure that you thank the veteran. Make sure that you have sent a prayer and good energy to a family that got that knock on the door. But again, people are simply going to be people. Okay, I'm looking at, we got a question.
Nah, it started off as a question, but then I was gonna ask when you got through just what was this question asking. Let's say my question is about the advertising for the cultural events because mostly online and through email was come turn up for Juneteenth post and email. And then she said that afterwards that was more of a statement, not really not a question actually. Yeah, but yeah, what you said, that's they be turning up.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Hey,
and
I think what was funny was I took my son down to Auburn Avenue for King Day one year. So we go to the parade and then I take him to down Auburn Avenue and go see Ebenezer. Just had a whole day downtown. So of course, there's paper in the street and confetti from the parade, and plus people been out there throwing out flyers. And I see this party flyer for that night. There was a MLK after party, and had a picture of Dr. King on there like this with a handful of money and some jewelry on, and it was like, come turn up for MLK Day, and I'm just like, oh, we have hit the wall as a people.
well, but okay, but here, okay, yes and no, yes and no,
Yes.
and but no. The reason why I'm saying yes or no is because, uh, hold on, real quick. Let me mute myself. I gotta be mama. Hold on.
That's that stern mama look, y'all.
I'm sorry. I had to be mama for a minute. I had to be. I'm sorry.
You good? Back to the yes or no.
Yeah, but no, okay, okay. My thing is, okay, let me back up. Can we agree that sometimes people are just different? People just come from different walks of life. People are just different. Some might say, "Oh well, it's Parker. You're articulate. You speak this way. You speak that way. You're a this." Or you might find someone else who might say, "No, I'm saying, no, I'm saying, no, I'm saying." So they're that. So the thing is, people are going to highlight someone that they admire in the way that makes sense to them. For me to recognize Dr. King might be to serve. I've done it several years where I'm out in the community. I'm out on an actual, I'm out doing an actual march just to maybe kind of, emulate what his life really meant. Where we're going to maybe boys and girls group homes, and we're doing mentoring projects and things of that nature. So we're choosing this to be a day of service. But now Pookie and them might say, Dr. King, man, he was a player. So Pookie and them might want to go ahead and turn up a little bit, grab a 40, pour something out. So Pookie's way of acknowledging Dr. King and my way, who's right or who's wrong. So
But when you go through the extra effort of superimposing money and jewelry on a picture of Dr. King, Now we've taken it a step further than just pulling out a little liquor for
But who knows? That might be people's certain way of saying, um, Dr. King was gangster, my G. I mean, here's the thing. Would I do
him.
that? No. Would I participate in an event with Dr. King like this? Probably not. But here's the thing: we're missing the big picture. Pookie and them are recognizing a great man, and maybe the fact that he blessed so many lives, maybe the fact that wasn't a weak man to get out here and to march for the rights of his people and wanting to see a level of cohesion between all the races, and being spat on, being disrespected. So Dr. King was in the streets. So now you got Pookie and them who are in the streets. That's their G. So here's the thing: I can't knock Pookie and them if they want to put that gold medallion on Dr. King. I can't knock it because that in their mind, he's their G. In my mind, he is the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Like, I don't even allow my students to say Martin Luther King. Hold on. I said, back it up. I said the man was educated. We're going to put some respect on his name, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. If you're going to say his name, say it right.
Man,
put some respect on his
it's
name.
like a Tribe Called Quest. You got to say the whole thing.
Gotta say the whole thing. Pimp name Slickback. You say the whole name.
No, it's a pimp name Slickback. You got to say the whole thing.
Say it with me now. But like I said, I think the older that I get, the more I appreciate people right where they are. They're, my way of doing things, I dot I's, I cross T's. That might not be everyone's way, so I respect the differences that people have. Now, do I want to see Dr. King with a grill? Probably not. But there's somebody else who sees Dr. King with a grill and say, hey, that's my G, whatever. But at least they're educating themselves on who this man was.
Are they really? Because after a while it starts to look like parody. And it gets into looking like some real. Hold on. Now you know what? Never mind. It gets to looking really, really bad. It looks really bad for us. It can be borderline stereotypical. It can be buffoonery. It is highly coonish because I mean the thing is, I'm not saying all that about people with gold teeth. In my history, I've had gold teeth. I don't had two. I don't went through two sets of gold teeth. I still wear a chain. I don't wear it often, but it's sitting right here. I still have a chain. It says DJ Agony on it. So therefore,
you should have never shown me that.
No, man, I love it. It was a gift. It was a gift. Big shouts out to Shimmy Couture. She put me on. So nonetheless, I mean, I get it. But for someone who carried themselves with a level of reverence to bring him down to that compound, it's like I don't know. I feel like that one was. I ain't gonna say it was disrespectful. Actually, I can say it was disrespectful and stand on that, but it wasn't a good look.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Hmm.
Okay. So now we all know Dr. King was highly educated. Oh my gosh, just getting through high school, at graduating high school at 15, making
Hmm.
his way to Morehouse, come out of Morehouse at 19. The story goes on, getting his
Hmm.
master's degree, then
Hmm.
then becoming an ordained minister, then of
Hmm.
course getting his doctorate degree. So this man, before he was 25 years old, was just had everything you could possibly think about educational wise. I mean, went to Morehouse, a part of the oldest fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha.
Yes,
Shout out to our Greek brothers and sisters. But
yes, Lord.
you know, so when you think about it, yes, Dr. King will be considered cream of the crop. Now, would you feel that same way if somebody took an image? not the image with the glasses like this, but someone took that same image and put money in Malcolm's hand, will we be having the same conversation? Because the
we
beauty about Malcolm was Malcolm
we
came from
we
the
we,
streets.
we would be having that same conversation because for somebody who did as much as he did to get to shed that Detroit Red image, he did everything he could not to be Detroit Red.
But you know
To
what?
the
But you know what? I respectfully disagree. This is why I'm saying it. Because Detroit Red, being Detroit Red, gave him that level of oomph that he needed when he became educated. And of course, his education didn't come from a traditional setting. He was educated, he was educated when he was incarcerated. Even the
Mhm.
story behind the glasses, like Malcolm Little at that time went into jail with 20/20 vision. But because he was so engulfed in studying and learning about his people, he began to read when the guards would say lights out. If there was maybe just a little hint of light, Malcolm would continue to read, which of course ended up damaging his eyes.
To the
So
strain.
that is the
Right.
reason why a lot of people don't know that. That's the
Mhm.
reason why he wore glasses. But the Detroit Red, see, I personally believe if it was not for that phase in his life, he wouldn't have been that guy who, see, Dr. King was about peace. Malcolm was any means necessary. So he had that level of oomph that only kind of came because he was Detroit Red. So I don't believe he tried to shed that image
I
because
very much.
that was what he needed to be in these streets.
I'm gonna be honest
He
with you.
was that guy.
I would say he tried to shed that image because it's like one that wasn't him anymore. That person that Detroit Red, that person that was Detroit Red, and he'll tell you, that he ate pork, chased white women, broke at people's houses, stole, did drugs. As Malcolm X, he did none of the above. And then
Absolutely.
and then even to take it a step further, once he I know that he was shedding Detroit Red because guess what? He eventually shedded Malcolm X and became El Haj Malik Shabazz.
Well, well,
And so
again,
and,
well,
and one of the things that you talk about him coming from the streets, if you look at the makeup of the NOI at that time, a lot of them were street brothers who were getting their lives together.
but here's the thing. Now, what makes a person okay? One one thing that one thing that I've learned just in having all types of people in your life, just people with different walks. I know people who were in the streets, in the streets. I'll say serving. Okay, I'll say that just in case we got one of our precious babies who are still here online. So,
And it
so
almost 10 o'clock.
but like I said, people who were once in the streets who turned around and maybe found professions as maybe like college recruiters, military recruiters, things of that nature. And they will tell you because in order for them to eat back in the day before they became legit, they had to hustle.
Mhm.
That was the same energy that they used to meet their quotas. That was the same energy that they used to know who to target, to know whom not to target. They were able to read body language because they got this. Their foundation might not have been traditional, but it was very much their foundation. So I'm not saying that Malcolm, still walked around here and wanted to be Detroit Red, but I will say that he still had that same presence because Detroit Red was not one to play with. He was very much not one to play with. I mean, even if you maybe take a moment and look at Regina King did an excellent job with the one night in Miami, and
Oh, yeah.
and even how Malcolm is portrayed in the movie. He's solid. I mean, he's super, super solid. But, you know, if you saw like a couple of parts where he was telling like Jim Brown character, all right, Jim, that's enough. That's enough. Not too many people got arrested. So not too many people check Jim Brown. Malcolm apparently did. So that comes from a place of someone that still got a little oomph in him. So although yes, he had evolved, he had definitely evolved. He was not that street urchin anymore. But trust me, he wasn't that far from it, because Malcolm didn't play that whole you hit me and I'm gonna take it.
No, but
He didn't play that.
and at no point I was saying that not being Detroit Red was gonna make him a punk, because one of the things about it, when you go into the NOI, you can't be no punk anyway.
Right.
They take me, they at the time they were taking men and making them better men. So no, I mean, you just wasn't finna be how you was wild in the streets, but to take a picture of El Haj Malik Shabazz and superimpose money and a chain on him, it's still a level of disrespect, because once we got to know him, he wasn't that anymore.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm not, again, at no point am I ever encouraging you know, pimping out any of our civil rights leaders and things of that nature, making them look this way or that way. But I will say that it's just how when you go into different churches, you might go into maybe a predominantly Caucasian church, and you might see the image of Jesus and he resembles them. You might go into a predominant African American church and you see an image of Jesus, he resembles us. Same thing if you go to Korean church, et cetera, et cetera. What I'm getting at is people will typically take something and make it in their own image. So if Pookie and them, if hey, and I keep saying Pookie, but if Moo Mook and all them, if they put a gold chain on Malcolm and a gold chain on Dr. King, I don't personally see that as disrespect, because they're making it real for them. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it, and there's a good chance I wouldn't be at a party that has that flyer and it says, "Hey, come kick it, Dr. King." Popping bottles, huh? What's the correlation of what? No.
Because it's the day off. That's
But
why they able to pop bottles on a Sunday. Because Dr.
thing,
King got us Monday off.
but my thing is, what is the connection? So no, there's a great chance that I wouldn't participate in an event like that, but I can't necessarily knock others for making it real to them, and and looking like this to someone else, or stereotypical. The beauty, I think, within our power, we have to understand that we control our narrative, and what people
we should.
have,
we have to do a better job of controlling our narrative.
We do, but I will say that we control our narrative. And one thing that my mother's always taught me: what people have to say about you that's negative is none of your business. So whether or not you believe that you playing into this stereotype, this, and there could be someone else that they could be honoring. But if in their mind, if in their mind their Dr. King had on a gold chain in the grill, tat them up. I mean, hey, I'll probably won't be at that event, but I'm not knocking you brothers and sisters. I mean, the same way in their mind, the beautiful, because she was just beautiful, but the beautiful Coretta Scott King might have on a blonde wig. I mean, listen.
Here's the only difference I see.
Not my Coretta.
We're talking about
not my Betty, but maybe that Betty got on maybe they Betty got a wig. That's right, not my Betty.
Here's the difference between Martin Malcolm versus having a different interpretation of Jesus. None of us were alive when said Jesus walked the earth.
Okay.
Malcolm was returned in 65. Dr. King was returned in 68. I wasn't alive then either, but we know people who were alive.
My parents were, yeah.
My parents were.
Mm-hmm.
And so they know that Martin Luther King didn't have a full floor draped mink, you know what I'm saying, with the fluffy hat. And you know what I'm saying, he had a 68 L dog that took up a city block just to make a right turn. Like, there are people who are still alive that were able to witness them to say that they was a real class act. He was a good dude. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And oh, by the way, people, you're not seeing You're not seeing a split screen. Come here, because apparently I can't have a moment to myself because he's just sitting here. Just come and say hello.
Hello.
Okay, now go.
Well,
Now sit down. Because the whole time while we were talking, I've been looking at his little shoulder like.
I keep
Okay.
looking at. I see his sleeve, and I was like, "Well, hey, I guess it ain't
But what's
bedtime."
crazy is, you know me, I'm like, hey, you know, you can't sit here and talk. But again,
Don't worry, look, hey, the box is not in the corner, so he's safe.
oh yeah.
We
Yeah.
got Tina Cheatham in the building. Tina said she didn't know
Tina?
that popped up around the part where you talk about the glasses.
Yeah.
Malcolm ended up putting a strain and ended up having to wear glasses. That is an interesting little factual tidbit there. Hey, I'll put that one in my pocket. Didi did a perfect translation for me. Didi, that's exactly what I was trying to say, but we're keeping it PG-ish tonight. I have no idea why, but it's PG-ish tonight.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You know, I'm always for I'm always for being PG. But see, that's just the thing when you're online and when you might have a platform, you don't know who's going to chime in. Typically, the dope show goes forth on Thursday. How my kiddo found us on a Tuesday, I have no idea. But that's what we got.
A bad delay.
Yeah, that's what we do. We just got to be kind of conscious. But it's okay. It's all love. That was sweet. Hold on. We're live, but I think Agony has frozen. Or am I frozen? So if anybody's still online, give us a second. We got some technical difficulties. Agony, you there? Let's see. Yeah, but yeah, Tina, that was.
Are you getting the?
Hold on, say it again.
I was asking, did you have delays over there? Because it's bugging out over here.
Yeah. You were frozen for a second.
Matter of fact, I could hear my delay on your side.
Okay. So
Tina,
say
Tina
something now, just to see.
Right? What about now, Tina?
Yeah.
My thumbs up if I'm back. That was rough.
Yeah.
And I heard none of what you said too. It was almost like you was you know how when you watch some TV shows and they have this big secret they gotta tell, and then all of a sudden, right when they go to tell it, somebody to turn on a blender, and then they stand up there talking the whole time, and they turn the blender off. It's like, so you see what I'm saying?
So that's what I said.
Yeah. Tina gave me the okay. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, you were telling me about YouTube and our PG-ish rating tonight.
Hey, listen. I mean, but like I said, that's why you just have to know that, and you know what? It's just this generation. But that also speaks volumes as to the educators you and I are. The fact that, think about it. Most kids can't wait to start their summer to get away from their teachers. Now you got somebody chime in and say hello. So it's like, hey, what do? You don't say, get off here. What, you don't be mean. You say hello back. But anyway, but hey, we had another topic. Oh, you still frozen? Okay. I think we got another technical difficulty on Agony's end. Not sure what's going on. But let's see. Yeah, he's frozen. He's frozen again. Yeah. Hold on, you back?
I'm about to say that bandwidth is taking a dip tonight.
Is it storming?
I mean, I can see me now, so I guess I'm back.
Okay.
I had bounced out for a second. You know what? Let me look. I don't just know it's dark. It says cloudy and that the storm is coming about 11. So
okay.
Yep, thunderstorms between 11 and 5.
Okay, so yeah, it could have been something a little funky.
That's crazy.
Hold on.
We
Hold
back.
on. It's still buffering. Hold on. Say something.
Slow
Okay.
dial
Okay.
up.
Okay.
Man, I'm telling you, I see what the people on the AT&T commercial go through now.
Right.
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 Like at this point, yo, hey, we'll switch over, but I think we got the best internet you can get out here. It's just I don't know, maybe we fighting the weather.
It could be, and things happen. Things happen. These are still man-made entities. So, sometimes glitches happen. Glitches
True.
happen. So,
True. But
yeah.
yeah, man. So this is what I want to do. I want to table tonight's conversation to tomorrow to where we don't have to fight the internet and the weather. You
Okay.
up for tomorrow?
What's tomorrow? Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with Wednesday.
All right,
I'm
so if you good with Wednesday and our dope audience is good with Wednesday, because tonight's conversation was really gonna need its own night. We were only supposed to kind of touch on Father's Day a little bit. We're
But
supposed
you
to touch
can't.
on Juneteenth a little bit, but yeah, I
You
mean,
just can't.
55 minutes later, we still haven't gotten to the main event. It's just been a lot of salads and sides. So tomorrow, y'all, we gonna get to that steak.
And
What
here's
time?
the
What time, Tina? To Tina, we're gonna shoot for 8 o'clock. We're gonna shoot for 8 o'clock.
yeah, yeah. But again, I think what's important, because, and I'm so glad that a level of procrastination kind of took over today, because I very seldom believe in procrastinating. But I was getting ready to maybe do like a quick little live just to let people know, hey, tune in. But after dealing with Cobb County and their foolery, then I'm glad, because other than that, you would have had people who chimed in who wouldn't have been here. But things happen. But
Right.
but yeah, I'm good for Wednesday. But I think, what do you think, Agony? Do you think we should let people know what the topic is? Because
No, I always want them to want to know what to be here for. It's like, I wonder what they gonna talk about. You gotta be here because if
I
they
mean,
hear about it, like, man, I might check it out later. I guess.
okay, well, I'll at
Anytime I
least
really be on.
I'll at least say this: tomorrow's conversation is going to be a deep one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not one that you want to miss. And let's give a disclaimer right now. We're going to agree to disagree on a few topics. And of course, not that we have ever experienced that since I've been on Agony's platform with the planning period. But of course, my opinion, Agony's opinion, your opinion are not opinions that we're going to bash. We're going to support everyone's differences. But saying that to say, you want to tune in. You want to
It
tune in
it
tomorrow.
might get a little uncomfortable tomorrow. Like I don't know.
You
You want to put
you
your
might.
house shoes on. You know your house shoes that you wear to the mailbox that you don't ran over the back of. But they real comfortable, so you're not gonna throw them away.
I
Put
don't
them.
own anything like that.
Put. Oh.
I don't.
I mean, my house shoes are still good. I usually throw those away after a minute, or there's a hole at the bottom.
And
But
it's you know what? It's so funny, and we could kind of you know we can segue from this. I gotta tell this story about my daddy. God
okay.
rest his soul. My father was the epitome of alpha male. When I tell you, he was the guy who, oh, you don't cry, you don't wear pink, you don't let your hair grow, you don't pierce your ear. He was that guy. He
Wait a minute.
was
So
that.
no afros.
He he actually had like an afro, but then after a while, too much hair. Then he cut his hair. So he was that guy. But let me tell you, my mother and I laughed so hard this past weekend, just thinking, we all think about him, thinking about him, and just thinking about how he was just. It was funny because he always wanted his daughters and of course his wife to look a certain way. Like my daddy had an issue with, you don't leave out the house as a woman, you don't have on earrings, your nail polish shouldn't be chipped. You would think with him having all of
Mm.
these expectations that he was GQ. No, that joker was horrible when it came to dressing, when it came to anything like that. So
Really, I'm thinking in my head in Chicago. I just have a vision
no,
of how dudes look.
no,
It was like players ball was every day.
no,
Like
no.
you going to go down to the deli to get a sandwich, but you're not going out there without a brim,
Now my
full
uncle,
jacket.
now my mom's brother, my Uncle John,
Hmm.
who was my dude. Uncle John would just put on a three-piece suit because it was Sunday. Oh, John, where you going? It's Sunday. He probably be sitting in the house or sitting on the porch. Uncle John was going to be sharp. All family functions were no between my Uncle John and my mother's cousin. But back in the day, especially with my mom, her lineage being, from Mississippi, your older cousins, you also call them uncle. So
Mm.
between my Uncle John, my mother's brother, and her first cousin James, my Uncle John, man, was nobody flyer. Then my Uncle John, number one,
And
Uncle
Uncle
James, number
James.
two. Uncle James, before it became popular, Uncle James used to get his hair pressed and curled. So as he got older, and Uncle James started balding a little bit, he had bought him a curly wig. So
No.
but his wig, that fool, I love you, Uncle James, God rest your soul. He used to look like Pinky, like from Friday. It's Pinky to us. We were like, so he would come around, Uncle James be sharp, and I'll sit there look at him like, listen, somebody take one for the team. Go over there, snatch that thing off his head and go
No.
shake it. But here's the thing, that was always a joke. We never, no, you ain't
Oh,
cross Uncle James because Uncle James had to fight. So no,
I was saying, but them old players like that used to keep that straight razor sitting like
man,
this.
listen,
Had that
listen,
thing before you know it.
listen. But again, dress wise, nobody smoother than Uncle John. Nobody smoother than Uncle James. Henry C. Parker, that joker would literally, you be like, Daddy, what you got on? He'd be like, I spilled it, it's clean. Like, no, sit down. Sit down. Because at first, when I was a little girl, my mom used to iron his stuff, dress him. When I became an adult, if I go by the house, we had an event. My mom said, Stephanie, get on your job. Yes, ma'am. That was my job to dress my dad. He sit there like this, sitting there just waiting. And whatever I picked out, iron his tie. First of all, I had to tie his tie. I didn't know how to tie a tie. I had to tie his tie between me and my mom. No, the Joker was frumpy, but you would think with his expectations of us that he was just GQ. But anyway, my daddy walked around. I'll say back in the late 80s, early 90s, he was diagnosed with, having diabetes. And one thing that he read about was how if something falls on a diabetic's foot, how sometimes it takes them forever to heal.
Mm-hmm.
He did not play about his feet to the point where one day my sister had these big old fluffy pink comfortable like house shoes. My daddy put his foot in one just trying to be silly. Wait a minute, these things comfortable. And for 2.5 years, my alpha daddy walked around with these big old fuzzy fluffy pink house shoes on. So if anybody came by the house, he walked around them house shoes. And I'm like, Daddy, hey, I'm a real man. Who gonna challenge me?
Exactly.
Well, that's true.
It's like Warren Sapp with the pink cell phone. Who gonna say
Right.
something?
But he walked around for like 2.5 years with them pink, fluffy house
And
shoes
say
on.
only 2.5 years because he wore them out by then.
He wore them out. But I'm
Yep.
looking at him. I mean, every time he would walk around, I'm like, that's my dad. That's my dad. I mean it. I don't care. That's my dad. But yeah. but anyway, fathers, we hope that you enjoyed your weekend. And you know what? Maybe this time next year, you know what? Let's speak something into existence as we move forward. And Lord, allow us to live to see it as we embark upon 2024. Let's get some ideas. Let's get some ideas surrounding what Father's Day should look like. And maybe that could be something that the Dope Show hosts, Dope Show kickoff. Maybe we can do something because I'm with you. I believe fathers need to be recognized the way you all choose to be recognized. And no, I'm not going down to strokers or magic, nothing. But hey, if somebody want to go, I got $20 in ones. I'll give you. Hey, on me. I'm gonna give you $20. I'm a teacher, so on me. But yeah, let's do something that recognizes fathers, because yeah, we're gonna go all out for the mothers. I mean, even if it's playing with the whole no ma'am t-shirt, I'm cool with that.
You know
Let's
what?
do
If I could find
something
a
fun.
no ma'am t-shirt in black, I would so rock that. Matter of fact, I do a lot of what I call dope infringement shirts, where I take other logos and put them in dope. There might need to be a new dope shirt. I gotta find a picture, because no ma'am had a whole acronym on the back. I
Yeah,
gotta find a picture of what the back looked like.
you know what? I think I have it in my phone, so I have to just send it to you, because I am not ashamed to say that Married with Children was one of my shows.
It's just like that show because it was in Chicago.
But you know what? Yes and no. Al Bundy was just my dude, especially, and
Al
it's so,
Al, Al was ill when he started talking about poke high and them 4 touchdowns he threw that night.
but no, but not only that. See, the reason why I love Al Bundy is because he really represents true Chicago sarcasm. Al, Al couldn't nobody out Joan Al. And if you happen to be, now the thing is, Al never started with you, but
That's
he
true.
finished. If you
That,
noticed it,
that's
Al
true.
Bundy never started. But now don't come in there trying to get shoes, and you a thick lady and you want to talk crap. Oh, Al's definitely gonna take you
Oh, I
out.
would I would love he would break the fourth wall like, is she serious, y'all? Okay,
I
watch
mean,
me get her. But
there's
you know who used to give Al fits? Um Rhodes, Marcy's first husband with the dark hair, the one that left it.
Steve.
Steve Rose, the one that left to go be a Mountie. That was one Al couldn't climb that mountain too tough.
No,
Steve used
but
to get out of business.
but at the same time, but then you had Pretty Boy Jefferson that came through. I mean,
Hey, he
listen,
loved Al though. Al was like his big brother.
he loved, but you know what? Steve had a respect for Al too.
He
Al
did,
just knew how far to go with Steve.
because Steve
But
would
one
roast him.
but
Steve would
one
carve
thing
Al up.
but one thing about Al, people could say, "Oh, that show was so direct." No, Al never started with you. If you
Hmm.
started a fight with Al Bundy, he finished it.
Oh,
So
yes,
so
he did.
so yes, Al Bundy to me just represents true Chicago sarcasm. Cause
It's one.
that's us. We ain't gonna start crap. We'll finish that mess though.
It's one of those things where with Married with Children, that show they couldn't get away with that show nowadays.
No,
No,
no.
that
People are,
that show has to stay in the late '80s, top
yeah.
'90s, back when Fox got away with murder.
Yes. Well, think about it. There's no show that was out back in that time that people would not have an issue with now.
I,
I mean,
I I'll tell this one story. 2015. It was about to be the anniversary of In Living Color. I want to say In Living Color was turning like 25,
okay.
and so they were asking Keenan about a reboot. So Keenan writes a script, and he wrote it in the tradition of how he did back in '89, '90 when the original In Living Color came out. So he brought it to the Fox execs, and they carved it up. He said he can't do another In Living Color. Not that he doesn't have comedy in it. It's just he can't say or get away with none of the stuff he did. And if you
No.
think about it, Candyman, Men on Film, Men on Books, like the Men on series, he can't do none of that now.
Homie. Homie the clown.
Homie the Clown hit you in the head with the sock.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
I
can't get away
mean,
with none of
it's a it's
that.
a it's a different generation. And I'm not, I have learned. Let me stop lying. I'm teaching my baby over here not to tell the untruth. I am learning. I am still a work in progress when it comes to accepting that this newer generation is just different from generation us. So I'm learning to accept what is their level of normalcy. It's just not mine. And I'm learning to, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not embracing it, but I'm accepting that it is what it is. Because
You
to
and
embrace
you can do
means that you're
one
gonna
without the other.
participate. I can't.
You can't do one without the other. You can't accept it without embracing it.
Exactly. I mean,
Accepting it is just more or less coming to peace with saying you do you over there.
right. I mean, I fully accept, and again, I really caution. I'm very cautious when it comes to saying the word weak, but I will say the newer generation has accepted a level of passive aggressiveness that I'm not used to. And, but hey,
I swear we could do PG shows more often. Your word gymnastics is amazing.
because I'm Miss Parker. But at the same time, I I am learning to I'm learning to accept the fact that some people need a little sugar on stuff. I was raised with no sugar. And because I was raised with no sugar, sugar didn't always exist. Now I have a little sugar now because I have babies that need a little sugar. But even like today, the little one, Carter, who's thank you, Boys and Girls Club, because you wore my baby out. Because other than that, he would literally, if Big Brother is here, he would be right here. But the whole thing, like, hello, hello. Carter would have not respected the platform. But like Carter comes to me today and they get in the car, picking up from Boys and Girls Club. And the first thing Jaden says to me is, God, Mom, Carter cried like 3 times today. And I'm like, Carter. And I'm like, Carter. I mean, listen, Tina, booty tissue soft. I'm talking about like, the whole bear shaking his butt. Yeah, it's clean, booty tissue soft. But anyway, Jaden get in the car, Carter cried 3 times a day. And I'm like, Carter, why you crying?
Why you snitching?
Why? But I'm like, Carter, why you crying? And then Carter was like, man, yo, bro, because he's tapping into jargon. I'm not understanding. Carter like, man, bro. So I was in the gym and I got hit with a basketball. So, and I'm like, okay. And then, of course, he wants to allude to the fact that a big kid did it. I just wouldn't know. I know the program better than a lot of people. Kids, maybe Jaden's age, not going to be infused in the same space with you because you all are 6. You all are young. Oh, well, I don't know who did it. I said, so you just cried? It hurt. So he began to say, all this pain he had. And a part of me was like, boy, shake it off. But eventually I did say, okay, Carter, how many fingers do I have? He goes 5. I said, did your eyeball fall out? No. Is your lip busted? No. Did you bleed? No, we're fine. I said, basketball inside the head is gonna happen when you in the gym. But come on, it hurt. But keep in mind,
I did many years at a Boys and Girls Club and caught many basketballs to the face.
man, I didn't got hit in the head. Hit in the head. I'll never forget one time I had to break up. Unfortunately, I won't give names because people got to live past moments. It's been years ago. But unfortunately, I had to break up a fight between a mother and a daughter. Like real talk. Like they were literally acting a donkey and chose all boys and girls act the fool on. So I had to break up a fight because one, I had never seen a mother and a daughter fight like they hate each other. I mean, I'm mama's baby. I don't. And even when she would discipline me, if she grabbed me, I got grabbed. I didn't fight my mama back. So I don't. It was just unreal. But they was like straight hooking. So I ran and hopped in between it. But as I hopped in between it, the mama swung, and that slap was meant for the daughter. But by that time, I hopped in the way. I got slapped, pow, by the mama. The daughter was swinging. That slap was intended for the mama. I get pow, pow. I got slapped like within seconds. And before I knew it, I had grabbed both of them, like by their shirts before I knew it. And I was like, ooh, because I was getting ready to really lose my job that day. Because I'm cute. You ain't getting ready to hit me in my arm. You don't hit me in my face. So, but when I had grabbed both of them, that kind of calmed them down a little bit. But I'm like,
They're like, oh, wait a minute. Hey, the little one mad, y'all. Hey, let's calm down.
But I'm sitting here like, wait a minute. That my eyes almost went. You know how with the Incredible Hulk, ding. I can literally hear that. But yeah, but again, Boys and Girls Club, you kind of get hit with stuff. It happens. But yeah,
you got jumped.
I got jumped by a whole mama and a daughter. And guess what? 3 days later, they were eating pie together. I wanted to put my finger all in that pie, but hey, I was able.
Y'all better bring me some. I got jumped for this.
Man, I was able to bring them two foods back together, but hey, it is what it is what it is at that time. But I had never seen it. I was like, hold on. You don't fight your mama. I had never seen anything like that. But,
that is crazy. Hey, before we wrap, last question. Favorite TV dad? Go.
Ooh. Am I doing just one?
Favorite TV dad.
Okay. Favorite TV dad. Oh my gosh, there's so many. But if I had to pick one.
Hey Tina, stop stealing my answer. That's actually my answer.
You know what? He's one of he's top 5. He's top 5. Mm-hmm. Favorite
I got my nephew Spud King in the building. What up, boy?
But favorite TV dad, I gotta go with the OG. I have to. Some people might not feel like that was realistic, but I gotta go with Dr. Bill Cosby. I gotta go with Cliff Huxtable.
Hey, Cliff Huxtable.
I gotta roll because you know what?
It's nothing, but that's such a not wrong answer to me.
But you know what? Okay, let me tell you why. The reason why was if you really look at how Cliff Huxtable was, he had a whole lot, but was very humble about it. Remember when? I mean, think about it. He drove a station wagon for years. And then when he was looking to upgrade his car, he dressed down because he didn't want people to know what he had. And what I liked about it was, let's see, now I love Uncle Phil, but Cliff and Claire had money, but every single day those kids had a home cooked meal. If Cliff wasn't cooking, Claire was cooking. They didn't have a maid. They could afford one. They didn't have a maid. I like the fact that without, now I love me some James. I love James Evans too, because James was quick with that belt.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. That's what I thought your answer was gonna be. When you said the OG, I'm thinking James Evans.
Well, no, the reason now James is probably number 3 for me, but number 1, it was just I love the fact that no matter what Cliff and Claire work for, they had one child they sent to Princeton, but then turned around and they had another child that they promoted the HBCU. They supported those kids right where they were. Look at the fact that Theo struggled all those years in school just to kind of find that he was dyslexic. Right. And just the love and the energy that they put around those kids. They have. My dad used to always say, I don't care how successful you become, or if you get married, and his things, if you ever get married or get into a relationship that it's not working, don't ever be so prideful that you come home. And if you look at it, all those kids at some point had to go back home, with the exception of Theo. they kind of had to get Theo together, but the door was always open. And then he took Pam in. He reminded me, his attributes really reminded me of how my daddy had an open door policy, and how no matter how hard, now my daddy couldn't cook, but still, I look at the fact that no matter how hard he worked, he was always available for his family. His office was in the basement of the house, so he was very much on site. Yeah, my number one dad, hands down, has to go to Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable. Number two would be Uncle Phil, and
Okay.
then number three, because he didn't care whose tail he tagged, you got to give it to James Evans.
James
Then
Evans actually gave a gang member a whooping.
he sure did. And then but he not only gave a gang member a whooping, he also extended a level of grace to another gang member whose mother said, "I'm done with you." And
That's the
this
one
was
that was the one that shot JJ, wasn't
that's
it?
who shot JJ.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at the fact that James could have very well killed that boy with his own hands,
He wanted to.
but at that moment he was a father, and even he said to Florida, "How can my heart break for the man who hurt my son?"
Mm-hmm.
And she had to remind him that's just because you're just who you are. So, but now now of course he's number three, number four. I got to give it up for my boy George Jefferson. He taught entrepreneurship and no matter what he accomplished, George was George. But he was supportive of his wife. He was supportive of his children, of his son. And when he became a grandfather, oh, he was just no good. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of TV. It's a lot of TV dads. But if I had to just pick one, which is hard, definitely Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable, the
Hey,
OG, Dr. William Cosby Jr. Is it Junior? Junior. Yep.
yeah, William H. Cosby.
William H. Cosby. So gotta,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. All right. Shout these folks out. Let them know how they can find you
And that's the thing. A lot of
if
people.
you want to be found.
I mean, I don't listen. If on a Tuesday night, if our babies are finding us, yeah, we can be found. But on Facebook, first and last name Stephanie Parker. You want to hop on Instagram? It is going to be at ESDION Enterprises, one word. And I'm on Instagram. Or you want to find me whenever that gentleman right there says, "Hey, planning period is going to go forth," you're going to see me on the other side of that screen. Contingent on married and I don't have any more issues.
Then there's that part. Y'all know where to find me at Dope Enterprise on YouTube, Dope Enterprise on Facebook, Dope Dot Enterprise on Instagram. Like I said, this is more tomorrow's more of a continuation of today because, like I said, we had some hardcore meat and potatoes to get to, and but it's just when it comes to the planning period, man. Look, that 90 minutes rolls. You gotta make copies. You gotta have your 5 minutes of adult time to talk to somebody over the age of 14, even though I've had students over the age of 14. Not talking about them though. Talking about like an actual adult. So I get it. But the planning period goes so quick that hey, sometimes we not be able to fit everything in. But then when you own your own media platform, there's always tomorrow. So y'all tune in tomorrow. And we're setting it tentatively for 8 o'clock, but we don't know what technology and the weather's gonna bring our way. So y'all just be ready because we'll be here
We'll be here.
tomorrow at 8 something something.
Hopefully 8 o'clock. But if not, well, as they said, well, as my boy Ace Ventura say, if we're not there at 8, please wait longer. That is funny. That is funny.
Case in point. Case in point.
That's
And
funny.
also, like I said, I gotta tell y'all the adventures about my weekend come tomorrow too, because my weekend was very interesting. Very
Uh-oh. We
interesting.
definitely
Yeah.
want to hear about it.
Definitely want to hear about it. And guess what? My weekend was interesting, yet I don't have to change the sticker in the corner either. So it wasn't that crazy, y'all. Y'all don't think
Okay.
that dude DJ Agnew because he did not. But I it was a very interesting weekend. I am very humble for the people I was around this weekend. And I get to tell y'all all about that tomorrow. We'll kick the show off with that, and then we're gonna get into some real grown folk uncomfortable conversation that just need to be had.
Tune
It
in.
It hurt a little bit. Look, that's why they call them growing pains. It hurt on the side a little bit right here under your ribs. You know what I'm saying? But
Tune in.
absolutely. But as I end every other show, imitation is a sincere form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness. I am DJ Agony. That is Miss Parker. She's dope. I'm dope. And we out. Peace.
Good night.